Have you ever woken up one day and just realized that you don't remember the last time that you actually felt excited about your life? I mean, like, you're doing all the right things. You're probably checking all the boxes. You're showing up for other people. You're showing up for everyone else where they need you. But like inside, it just feels, I don't know, flat. Well, I just want you to know that there's nothing wrong with you. It's not a laziness or that you're ungrateful. You're just running like on a version of life that's misaligned with who you really are. And I've been there too. I get it. I've walked a very similar path. I'm a parent of 3. I'm an entrepreneur. I've worked in corporate spaces and such. So I've been there myself, where I was building success on the outside while quietly like running on empty on the inside. And what I finally learned, and I'm hoping you can take away from this, because it's so important for parents and entrepreneurs and people who are working away in those 9-to-5s. Like, the thing I hope that you really understand is that like joy doesn't show up when your life gets easier. Like, it shows up when you just start using your gifts that you were already born with, like where you're at today, without having to redo your whole life. Like, that's what we're diving into today. Let's talk about how you reclaim that spark of aliveness, right? That you've been missing, and doing it without overhauling your life, because the joy isn't gone, it's just buried, and we're about to go dig it up. Now, let me just say, because I like to say this at the beginning of every video, if you're new here, welcome to the Giver Method channel. My name is Jake. If you've been here before, welcome back. So excited to see you again. And if you're here, it probably means that your life maybe looks fine on paper, but you're feeling flat on the inside. So let me ask you some questions that might hit home. Maybe, like, have you ever gone through the whole week just feeling like you're on copy and paste mode? Like, just from one week to the next, where you're checking the boxes, surviving till the weekend, and then just, I don't know, starting over again. Or maybe you're like, hey, I used to be passionate about things, excited about things, but now I can't even remember like what used to make me feel alive, or how I even get that back. Or maybe you look at your life and you think like, man, I really should be grateful for what I have, but if I'm honest, I feel really numb. Once again, if that's hitting close to home, then this is for you. You're just disconnected from the parts of yourself that used to make you feel alive. See, when you spend most of your time doing things that don't match up with your natural wiring and programming, even if it's important to you, like, your body quietly produces those stress hormones all day long. And like, you might not even feel stressed or anxiety at that point, but you're running on fumes. And what makes real joy feel like out of reach when you're feeling these other feelings that are bubbling up. And that shows up in all sorts of ways. As a parent who's giving so much, maybe you've lost sight of who you are beyond being mom or dad. And you can't remember the last time that you were able to bring in your own joy. Maybe there's even some guilt there that you're stuck in the same loop of exhaustion. Maybe you're an entrepreneur who built something that they once loved. They built a business for a reason, but now success feels like it made you feel like you're trapped, right? You're stuck, doing everything, but like the work that used to light you up, you don't get to dive into anymore. Everyone around you thinks that you've made it, but like deep down, you're just wondering like, man, you ended up building a business that doesn't even feel like it's you anymore. Maybe, I don't know, you're an employee, you're working away in your 9-to-5, and you're showing up every day, getting the job done, but you feel like a ghost within your own life. I've been there so much. And maybe you're counting down to the weekend or the next vacation, wondering when did everything stop feeling so meaningful to you? And the truth is, and most people are going to miss this, your joy isn't waiting for some better version of your life. It's not coming when your business finally scales, or when your kids grow up, or when you finally have more time. It's sitting inside of you right now. You can use it. I promise you. It's buried under these layers of misalignment, waiting for you to remember who you are and start using your gifts that you already have. Now, let me be very clear. You are the only person that has your combination of gifts, superpowers, and experiences, which means that you are the only person who can make an impact in people's lives the way that you can. And there are people who are waiting for it. I promise you that. You want to start living with more joy, happiness, fulfillment, all of these types of things, have that spark of purpose in your life, then start using these gifts every single day in ways that are just so simple that you don't have to it's not like you're starting over or recreating yourself. You're using what you already have inside you. Now, diving a little bit deeper, like I said, my name is Jake Talbert. I'm the founder and author of this book. It's called The Giver Method. So what we're going to get into today is very much grounded in what's in this book. Right now, I've made it available to you on Amazon. You can get it for as little as $1.99, $2. Go get it. Like $2, best investment you can make in yourself. I think between $2 to $10, you can go get yourself a copy. There's going to be a link in the description, or pause the video and go to Amazon and look up The Giver Method by Jake Talbert. Come back, finish the video. But like I said, you could use the link down in the description. I highly recommend you get yourself a copy, because everything in here, the exercises, stories, action items, they're grounded in my story, walking a similar path to you as a parent of 3, as an entrepreneur, as someone who's worked in that corporate sea of cubicles. It will change your life. I promise you that. And like I said, for years, I thought the joy would come like once I hit some sort of a milestone, a business success, a balanced life, the calm at home, whatever. But like when I got there, it was quiet and flat. The joy I thought like I would earn never showed up for me, because joy, it never doesn't, like, yeah, achievements are nice and they bring in that temporary moment, but like true joy and happiness, it comes from being in alignment and, being authentic to who you are. My most fulfilling moments weren't my big wins. They were the times that I was using my natural gifts and superpowers to help others, help my kids, help my wife, help my friends, family, my friends, my community, my work, whatever it may be. Once you start designing your day, I started making my day be designed around these types of moments. And, instead of the life that I already had, like, everything started changing. I started finding the ways to build this in. Like, excitement came back, energy came back, I came back, and I want to help you get there. So that's why we're diving into these 4 different areas that I think you could easily focus on to rediscover what makes you feel alive again. When you realign with what's already there, because, like, gosh, when your gifts are there and you help others, your brain literally rewrites itself. This is science. There's dopamine and oxytocin, like the chemicals for joy and connection. They give you sustainable fulfillment, and not just like short-term highs that are going to fade. Long-term things, tons, like I said, tons of data and science behind this, that people who regularly use their natural gifts, strengths, like, they don't just feel better, but they live better. They report higher energy, deeper relationships, greater satisfaction that lasts, because they're living in alignment, not just off of the achievement. So that's why, the Giver Method is really is helping people discover their gifts, discover, develop, and really deliver their gifts, so you can stop running on empty and start living like yourself again. So if you want to dive deeper, like I said, use the link down below in the description, get the book on Amazon. If you're ready for some more hands-on support, you're looking for some one-on-one coaching, then check out the link below. I've opened up 2 coaching spots that you could go take a look at. There's a video on the page, details on the page. Go check it out. Limited time discount on it. At the same time, go follow us on all social media: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, under The Giver Method. Or go to thegivermethod.com to find out more details about us, join the newsletter list, all that type of stuff. Now, if you lead a team or have a podcast, host an event, some sort of a stage or whatever it may be, like an audience that needs to hear a message like this, then let's talk about how I can help bring it to them, because I love doing that. I love bringing it to people and making such an impact in their lives. Of course, if you haven't already, hit subscribe, tap that bell for notifications, all the YouTubey things, like the video, and of course, comment your thoughts along the way. I want to make sure you keep seeing these things, helping you start to change your life little bit by little bit. All right, let's jump in. Let's start rediscovering your joy. And then it's been there all along. It's just waiting for you to remember who you really are. So this first one I want to talk about is, like, you need to rediscover the clues of your joy. This is uncovering, like, the breadcrumbs that are in your life back to where your aliveness is. Think of it this way. I call it the joy dig or joy archaeology, whatever you want to refer to it as. Like, because if we're honest, when you've been living in autopilot mode for a while, like, it's easy to believe that your joy is just gone. Like, you tell yourself, like, maybe you've changed, that maybe, like, this dull version of you is just, like, that's just how adulthood's supposed to be. But I promise you, the joy is not gone. It's just buried under years of stress and survival and doing what you had to do in those moments. And if you look closely, like, there are these breadcrumbs all over your past showing you exactly where you can find it again. And so that's where this idea of a joy dig comes in. It's about uncovering those clues, the moments that you truly felt alive, not happy because something good happened to you, but like that deep sense of engagement and energized, like the authentic you. Those are the moments when these natural, like, your natural gifts were fully switched on. They were key to, like, they're the key to really bringing that spark back. And so, here's how you're going to do it. Grab yourself a sheet of paper. I want you to sketch this out, okay? Well, you draw out a line of, like, maybe the last 5 to 10 years of your life. Nothing fancy, just like a timeline. Pretty easy, right? And then mark every moment that you can remember. So if you start from today and go backwards, and mark every single day, every moment, every time that you can remember where you felt the most like yourself, authentic, energized, engaged. Not the vacation that looked good on Instagram. I mean, I love the taking my family on trips and everything, but what was the Tuesday afternoon when you helped a friend solve a problem, and felt your brain light up again? Not the job promotion, unless it genuinely made you feel alive, not just validated. You're looking for the moments that made time disappear. For each of those moments you write down on that line, jot down a few things, like, what were you doing, and get as specific as possible. Like, hey, I telling my kid some sort of made up bedtime stories, with all of their superhero friends in it, like helping a coworker figure something out that used to confuse me, whatever it is. Like, get as descriptive and specific as possible. What gift were you using when you did it? Write that down. Is it encouragement or problem solving, teaching, organizing chaos, calm, like whatever, like bring whatever that gift was. And then who were you serving or helping? It was a friend, it was a client, it was my child, it was my spouse, it was a colleague, and then along with that, like, What value were you creating for them? Were you bringing calm, clarity, hope, laughter, joy into their lives? So whatever it is, write these out for each of those things. Once you've got maybe 8 to 10 of those moments, take a step back. You're going to start to see some patterns. Maybe your joyful memory involved helping people see what's possible. That could be a gift of encouragement. Maybe your joy shows up when you're creating or simplifying. Well, gosh, that's problem solving and creativity. And those aren't just random moments in your life. Those are your gift zones. They're perfect. Like they're the proof of your joy. Like that it isn't lost. It's still there. You just haven't actually been activating it lately or activating it intentionally. And so here's the thing, you don't have to wait for your life to calm down to feel that again. The fastest way to bring joy back is to just start weaving those moments, like those gift moments, into your current life. Instead, doing it inside of the responsibilities that you already have. Because once you see the pattern, and it really will be hopefully clear as black and white, that's the pattern. Here's what I'm seeing. It clicks. You stop saying I don't know what makes me happy, and you start realizing, man, I've always known it's there. Your brain even remembers those joyful moments more vividly because they were so emotionally charged. They literally rewrite your nervous system in real time. And so this isn't some sort of feel-good reflective exercise that I want you to do. It's true evidence. It proves joy shows up every time you're using your authentic gifts, and especially if you're in alignment with who you are. And the good news is, once again, you start doing that today with no permission. There's no perfection needed, no life overhaul required. You can start doing those things right now, today, and start feeling that joy and happiness in the moment that starts to build on top of itself. It's absolutely amazing what it will do for you. Now that takes us into the second area that I want to focus on, okay? You have to find where your joy is actually leaking out. This is kind of an energy check, an energy audit. And I talk a lot on this principle because we don't realize how much we're leaking energy day to day. Because the truth is, when you're running on empty, it's not because of that. Once again, there's nothing wrong. It's not that there's a laziness or ungrateful. It's because you're not living you're not living in that alignment. You've been out of alignment for way too long. And not just that you're tired, you're drained from constantly doing things that just don't match with how you're naturally wired. And so that's where joy is leaking out. That's the leakage right there. You can't see it when you're in survival mode because everything feels so urgent and necessary. You just know man, I'm exhausted. And you feel that way all the time. You're checking boxes, you're getting through the week, you're counting down to Friday, whatever, and wondering man, why does it feel so heavy? Because most people think that the answer is rest. I need to rest more, I need to work less, I need to go on a vacation. And sure, those help. They help for a bit, but it doesn't fix the real issue. You need a break. You don't need this massive break from your life. You need to realign your life. And that's where this energy check comes in. Super simple exercise that's going to give you just a clear picture where your joy is being drained and where it just naturally refills. It's not about guessing anything. It's about seeing the truth on paper. So here's what I want you to do. For 1 week, track your energy every couple hours. Maybe set a timer on your phone that goes off every couple hours during your workday and on the weekends. And set a quick, whatever that reminder goes off. What I want you to do is I want you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. How is your energy in that moment? Maybe a 1 to 4 is man, this is really draining me, or it's dragging, this is really slow. Maybe it's a 5, 6 is man, I'm fine, but it's not necessarily it's not doing much for me. And a 7 to 10 means man, I'm feeling more alive, more engaged, and more in the flow. Next to your number, write what you were doing. If it felt aligned with your strengths, okay, well, don't once again, don't overthink it. What was I doing? I was doing this. Did it align with my strengths? Yes. No, I don't know, maybe, we'll see. End of the week, look for patterns. You'll probably start to see that there's 3 types of activities. Okay, there's going to be your energy drains, your energy neutrals, and your energy gains. The drains is the stuff that's consistently leaving you wiped out. Maybe it's the endless admin work. Maybe it's the surface level conversations. Maybe it's the task that you fight, that fights against your natural rhythm. Those energy neutrals are the things that you feel fine, but you don't love doing. They keep the lights on, but they don't light you up, right? And then energy gains, man, these are where your joy sources, right? The moments where your gifts are fully alive. Maybe it's brainstorming ideas or mentoring someone or solving problems or encouraging people who need it. And then what you want to do is now you look at your week and you do the math. If you're spending 70% of your time on energy drains and only 10% on energy gains, no wonder that you feel flat. No wonder you feel disconnected. Once again, the good news is you can flip that around without turning your life upside down. So what you do is you just start small. You pick one of your major energy drains. Maybe okay, well, how can I minimize this? How can I delegate it? How can I do it differently? Maybe you hand a task off. Maybe you automate it, or simply stop saying yes out of guilt. Pick one energy gain, and how do I turn the volume up on that? How do I turn it up by 25%, maybe 50%? Like if you love encouraging your team, maybe that's just a part of your daily rhythm that you do. If you're creative, like if you love creative problem solving, like then gosh, carve out time and space within your week to do that. Once again, I'm not trying to get you to add more to your plate. You want to start swapping the depletion for more alignment. Because without seeing that data as clearly as possible, like you keep blaming the wrong things, like you're just going to feel burnt out because you've like, man, too much work, I'm not getting enough rest. I don't have enough time off and I can't take that vacation. Man, you think that rest will restore your energy when it's actually like the alignment is what's going to restore the energy you need. And there's tons of data out there that supports this, that people who spend even 20 to 30% of their time on activities that match their natural strengths, like their life satisfaction skyrockets. Not because anything is easier to them, but because they start using their gifts and the things that just naturally give them back more than what they're taking. And so your challenge is like this week, do that energy check, track what's draining you, find the gains, and then start to make those little shifts one at a time. That's it. You're gonna be shocked at how fast your energy and your joy starts to come back. You start to return like, man, I'm stopped fighting against my design and my natural programming. And I'm starting to flow with it. Which takes us to the third area. Now this is like, I want to kind of give you a 7-day challenge, a thing that you could go do. And you're proving that your giving actually is going to refuel you. Because like this is like, it's where it starts to light people up. Up to this point, we're talking about how alignment brings you energy or misalignment drains you. But now it's time to feel like that truth yourself, because like what I've learned from working with, parents running on fumes, entrepreneurs feeling trapped within their, within their own success, employees that feel lost, they've lost that spark that's in them. You can't think your way back into joy. You have to experience it. And so that's why I want to give you the 7-day gift challenge, which is a super simple, easy experiment that you can do that's going to give you firsthand proof that you're using your gifts to help others. Doesn't drain you, it refuels you. And it's not just motivational talk. This is actual neuroscience that backs this up. When you give through your natural gifts, your brain releases more dopamine, which is a reward, oxytocin, which is connection, at the same time. It's what people refer to as like the helper high. Like you're not forcing energy, you're actually generating it. But the key is it only happens when you're giving through your authentic gifts, not when you're forcing yourself to be nice, or saying yes out of guilt. The magic happens when you're helping in a way that feels like you. The things that come naturally, that makes time fly by, that leaves you feeling more alive than before you started. And so what you want to do is step 1, pick one of your natural gifts, whatever it is. Maybe, uncover one of the ones you did in that joy dig, the joy archaeology, or your energy check. Maybe it's another one that you have. It might be encouragement, creativity, problem solving, empathy, storytelling, humor, organization, whatever. The only rule is it has to feel natural and not forced. And for the next 7 days, you're going to use that one gift intentionally to help someone every single day. Nothing big, nothing overwhelming, nothing crazy, just a small, genuine moment of giving through what you already have. And so here's a few ideas to get you started. Maybe you spend 5 minutes encouraging a coworker or friend who's struggling. Maybe you use your creativity to solve one small problem at home or work. Maybe you organize a space that's been stressing your family out. We've got that spot next to the fridge that all the papers go. You just organize something like that. It can bring so much more calm just by having that done. Take 10 minutes to really listen to someone who needs it and not try to fix it. Just try to understand them. Maybe use humor to bring to calm tense moments and to cheer people up. Connect with maybe 2 people who genuinely help each other. And your joy is coming and connecting them together. Whatever it is, whatever they are, the key is it's all about intentionality and authenticity. You're not doing this for any sort of a thank you or to look good or anything. You're doing it because it's how giving through your gifts actually feels. Each day, as you do that, jot down 2 quick notes. Okay, well, what did you do? And for who? That's the first part. I did this for my kids or whatever. And then how did you feel before and after on a scale of 1 to 10? By day 3 or 4, something almost everyone starts to notice. You start to feel lighter. The tired parent finds energy after encouraging their teenager. The burnt out business owner feels recharged after helping a client through some sort of creative problem solving. The exhausted employee realizes that mentoring a new hire was the best part of their entire week. And once again, that's not a coincidence. That's alignment. When you give through your gifts, you're not burning energy. You're activating it, because after a week, you're gonna stop believing that that you need to go get yourself together. I got to go find myself before I can help out. No, you're going to realize that helping through your gifts is actually just what is going to build up so much more energy and gets you there faster. It's not any sort of willpower that drives your energy. It's the alignment. You feel the difference like than what you had before. The tasks that were draining you versus the ones that light you up. The challenge, like this challenge is going to give you proof of what you need. And once you start to see that using your gifts creates that energy instead of taking away, everything changes, and you stop waiting for that perfect circumstance. You stop feeling guilty for needing joy. Start recognizing that joy is part of what you need. It's part of your daily life, and it's your fuel that you're going to use. It is about like 7 random acts of kindness or whatever. It's about like 7 like moments of coming home to who you really are. And at the end, like, man, you're gonna believe, joy is possible, and that there's proof already happening in the world that you're living right now. And that takes us to the 4th area, which is like, stop adding more. Gosh, I wish I could tell. Just start showing up differently. Stop adding more to your plate. Like, this is about infusing gifts into like what you already have, your already existing responsibilities, and redesigning how they show up, not what you show up for. Most people, they hit this wall right about here. You finally get clarity on your gifts. You understand where your energy is leaking, and then your brain goes, cool, but where am I supposed to find the time for all this? And I get it. Like, if you're already stretched thin between work and family and to-dos and like all the things that don't quit, the idea of adding more of anything, even good, sometimes feels impossible. It feels like it's going to just stress you out more. That's why this next shift is such a game changer. You have to it's about integration over addition. It's about using the gifts inside of you that you already have and trying to build anything brand new. You don't need more hours. You don't need some massive overhaul. You just need to start showing up as you in what you're already doing. Think about it. The parent, with a gift of, creative connection doesn't need need to block out art time. They can turn homework into a little adventure, something that makes you feel alive again. The entrepreneur with a strategic brain doesn't need to work longer. They just need to protect like their best energy for creative vision and get help with the stuff that's draining them. As an employee who loves encouraging people, you don't have to go quit your job and find meaning. You can bring that energy into meetings and mentoring and daily conversations. I mean, that's the difference. It's the same responsibilities, the same time commitments, the stuff that you're already doing, just totally different energy outcomes. So grab a piece of paper, write down what your normal week is, jot out what you'd normally be doing, everything from school drop-offs to client calls, household chores. And then next to each one, ask yourself, like, does this drain or energize me? And then, is there a way I could approach this through my gifts and superpowers? That's where the fun begins, because the truth is, like, your gifts, like, are like they're dying because you're not using them. They're never going to go away all the way, but like they're just waiting for you. They're waiting for you to be like, man, I'm going to write myself a permission slip to show up in like an everyday moment with these gifts. If you're a natural storyteller, bring that to bedtime instead of treating it like a checklist item. If you're a problem solver, use that, your commute to think through some creative solutions to, so you have less stress. If you're like a connector, use team meetings to bridge people instead of just getting through the agenda. Once again, I don't want to add more to your plate here. No matter what season you're in, where you're busy, you're overwhelmed, stress, anxiety, all those things, you can bring a little bit more of you into it and start to feel that energy. And the beautiful part is that once you start integrating your gifts, even into like 20 to 30% of your daily responsibilities, something shifts. You stop feeling like you're constantly running on fumes. You start feeling more present. You stop counting down to the weekends, and you start finding the moments of joy inside your week. Because alignment doesn't require a new life. It just requires a new way of just showing up for the one you've already got. Don't wait till things calm down. Don't wait until you have more time. The joy that you're missing isn't hiding on the other side of a vacation or a new career. It's hiding right where you are. Just bring your gifts into life where you're at right now and watch how quickly that spark comes back to life. Now, if we want to bring this full circle, we started with the truth that joy isn't gone. It's buried under these years of misalignment, waiting for you to just dig it back up and using your authentic gifts. It's not about chasing some sort of quick dopamine hit or some feel-good moment that fades a week later. It's about remembering who you actually are and realizing that joy doesn't come from perfect circumstances by any means. I know people who have terrible circumstances and are some of the happiest people that I know. And it's because of how they look at their circumstances, how they bring the joy, it's how they bring that intentionality into what they're doing in that moment. Like, it comes from alignment. It's what naturally happens when you start living and working and parenting and creating in ways that match how you're wired and programmed. Because the thing is, like, stress and burnout don't erase your spark. They just kind of cover it up, and the version of you that used to feel alive, creative, fully present, like, it's not gone. It's just waiting for you to start using what's already inside you. Those natural gifts and superpowers that light you up and make you feel like meaningful again. So you don't have to wait for life to calm down. You don't have to wait for everything else, to finally make sense. Joy doesn't live at the finish line of some like future milestone. It lives right here, right now with where you are. You just have to start showing up as your true and authentic self with your gifts and superpowers. There's so much data out there that supports this. How it turbocharges dopamine, and the mental chemicals for connection and for joy and all of these types of things. You don't need a lab to tell you what your heart already knows, though. You have felt it before. Those moments when the time just disappears and you felt fully alive. That's what you're trying to get back to. And so you dig through what we talked about today with the joy dig, the energy check-in and everything, using that gift challenge, like what, all of those things. It doesn't matter where you start. It just matters that you start doing something, because the people in your life, your kids who are learning what adulthood looks like from you, your spouse, your partner who misses the light in your eyes, your team that needs your leadership and energy, like they don't need a better version of you. They need the real you, the alive you. The one who's in motion, giving like from a place of alignment, not exhaustion. Once again, you are the only person with your combination of gifts, superpowers, and experiences. So you're the only person that can make the impact in their life that you can. There's so much joy behind that when you start just showing up authentically with that. Now, if you want to dive deeper into this idea of what we talked about, then that's where, like I said, use the link in the description. Go get yourself a copy of the Giver Method while it's as low as it is. You can get as little as $2 on Amazon. Go get yourself a copy of it. Go to thegivermethod.com, sign up for the newsletter list, check out more details around all those things. Like all of this, the stuff we have is going to walk you through discovering, developing, and delivering your gifts so you can feel alive and fulfilled again. Not someday, but now. If you're ready for more personal support, then check out the one-on-one coaching link below. Watch the video on that page, and if it makes sense to book a call, book a call. And if you've got a team, a podcast, a stage, an event, whatever, where this message would help, then let's touch base. Let's talk about how we could bring this conversation to your world. And then before you go, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications so you don't miss out on the future content, and drop me a comment. Tell me which of the things landed for you today. But more than that, take some sort of action today. Because your joy is not lost. It's not waiting for the perfect time. It's just waiting for you to stop performing. And start expressing who you really are. That spark doesn't go missing. It comes back the second you start using your gifts again. Not later, not someday, but right now. They're waiting for you. Joy is waiting. The world doesn't need the polished version of you, the burnt out, whatever. It doesn't need that. It needs the real and alive and authentic, fully engaged version of you that's just buried under the noise and the things that you think you need to be performing as. Stop waiting for the permission. Stop waiting for things to calm down. Just start showing up with who you are right now, in this moment, in the middle of life, as messy and chaotic as it can be. Trust me, if you watch what happens next, it will change your life. Because when you live with your gifts and superpowers, you don't just help others, you rediscover yourself. That's when your life starts feeling so much more vivid and purposeful and genuinely joyful, like full of joy and fulfillment again. I promise you that. And of course, when you do that, the universe always finds ways to pay you back and creating new opportunities available to you. So find your gifts and superpowers. Give them to those around you. I promise you, things will improve. You'll have such a better outlook on life and live a more fulfilled life by doing that. And with that, I'll just tell you to hopefully you have a great rest of your day. Hopefully you check out the other videos on our channel, or we'll catch you in our next video. Have a good one.